You are standing in your room to pray. You raise your hands and say Allahu Akbar. You are trying to focus on the King of Kings, but suddenly your eyes dart to the side. You see a movement or a shadow in the corner. You look at the pattern on the prayer rug. You check the notification light on your phone, and for a split second you turn away. You think this is just a small distraction, a harmless glance that does not ruin the prayer. But the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us that this glance is actually a crime scene. It is a moment of theft happening in real time, a robbery taking place right under your nose, and the thief is a cunning creature waiting for you, waiting like a fox waits for its prey. This is the story of the fox in your salah, and why looking around even for a second is dangerous to the validity of your worship, and how Shaitan snatches your reward away. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was asked about this. The mother of the believers, Aisha, asked him about the person who looks around in prayer, and his answer was short and terrifying. He said, "It is a snatching or a theft, which the shaitan steals from the prayer of the slave." The Arabic word used is iktilas, which means to snatch something quickly and run. Imagine a fox hiding in the bushes near you. It watches you holding a piece of valuable meat. It waits for the moment you are not looking, and it jumps out to snatch a piece and run. This is exactly what Shaitan does in your salah. Your prayer is the most valuable thing you own. It is a collection of jewels and gold for your afterlife, and Shaitan is desperate to rob you of it. He cannot stop you from praying physically. He cannot tie your hands or seal your mouth, so he resorts to the tactic of the pickpocket. He steals the reward from you piece by piece. Every time you look away from the place of sujud, he snatches a portion of your concentration. He snatches the blessings of that specific moment, and he leaves you with a hollow shell of prayer. Why does he do this with such persistence? Because he knows that prayer is your connection to Allah. It is the direct line between the slave and the master, and looking around breaks that sacred connection. When you look around, you are being rude to Allah. Imagine you are standing before a mighty king. The king is speaking to you and looking at you, but you are busy looking at the walls and floor. Would the king feel respected or insulted? He would surely turn his face away from you. And this is exactly what happens spiritually. Allah faces the servant as long as he does not turn. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said explicitly, Allah continues to face his slave in prayer as long as the slave does not look around, but if he looks around, Allah turns away from him. This is the greatest loss you can imagine. The creator of the universe was giving you attention, but you chose to give your attention to a fly, or to a pattern on the carpet, or a clock. So Allah leaves you to whatever you looked at. He withdraws his special mercy and presence, and Shaitan laughs because he caused this separation. He tricked you into looking at nothing and losing everything. Scholars compare Shaitan in this state to a fox because a fox is known for being tricky and sly. It does not attack with brute force like a lion. It attacks with distraction and speed and cunning. Shaitan knows he cannot defeat you with force, so he uses the fox strategy of distraction. He whispers, "Look at that thing over there. Did you lock the door or turn off the stove?" He makes you remember things you forgot years ago. He makes the environment suddenly very interesting, just to get your eyes to shift away from the Qibla, because the eyes are the gateway to the heart. Once your eyes wander, your heart follows them. You start thinking about the object you saw, and suddenly you are no longer in prayer, you are just moving your body while your mind is gone. This theft can happen in two different ways. There is the physical theft of the eyes looking, and there is the spiritual theft of the heart wandering. And both of them are dangerous to your faith. The physical theft is when you turn your head. This is makruh or disliked and reduces reward. But if you turn your entire body away from Qibla, then your prayer becomes completely invalid. The spiritual theft is when you think of work. You plan your day and your dinner in sujud. This does not break the prayer legally, but it leaves you with no reward at all. Ibn Abbas, the great companion, said about this, You only get from your prayer what you understood. If you prayed 4 units but focused in none, you walk away with empty hands and a heavy burden. There is a terrifying narration about a man who prays for 60 years and not one is accepted because he completes the bowing, but not the prostration, or he looks around and rushes through the motions. He allowed the fox to steal everything daily until he arrived at the end of his life bankrupt. Do not be the victim of this spiritual heist. Defend your prayer like you defend your money. So what is the solution to stop this theft? The first step is to control the gaze strict. The sunnah is to look at the place of sujud. Keep your eyes fixed on where your forehead will touch. Do not close your eyes unless it is necessary. The Prophet did not close his eyes in prayer. He kept them open but focused downward humbly. This is the posture of a slave before a master. The second step is to remove distractions. Do not pray in a room with a TV on. Do not pray in front of a mirror or pictures. And definitely do not pray with your phone nearby. The phone is the ultimate tool of the fox today. One notification sound is enough to steal focus. Turn it off or put it in another room entirely. Disconnect from the world to connect to the Creator. The third step is to fight the urge to look when you feel the whisper to check something. Recognize that this is the fox waiting to pounce and seek refuge in Allah immediately. You can say, I swear by Allah, I will not let the devil rule. And you can even spit drilly to your left 3 times. This is a sunnah, specifically for prayer distraction, to physically expelling the devil from your space. There is a story of a companion named Ubadah. He was praying and a wasp stung him on his foot. He did not move and he did not look around. He continued his recitation until he finished. After the prayer, he asked what happened. They told him he was stung multiple times. He said, I was reading a surah so beautiful, I did not want to cut it off for anything. This is the level of focus we should aim for, where the pleasure of talking to Allah is greater than the pain of the world, and certainly greater than the curiosity of the eyes. Remember that looking around is a sign of disrespect. If you were speaking to your boss or a king, you would stare at them with full attention. You would be terrified to look at your watch. Allah is the king of all kings and rulers. He deserves your undivided attention and awe. When you stand before him, stand with khushu. Stand with the humility of a sinner asking for mercy. The Prophet, peace be upon him, used to pray as if a bird was sitting on his head. He was so still and so calm and focused that the bird would not be scared to fly away. Contrast this with how we pray today. We fidget and scratch and look around constantly. We check the time and adjust our clothes. We are like birds pecking at the ground quickly. This rushing and looking is the result of theft. Shaitan has stolen the peace from our hearts and replaced it with the anxiety of the dunya. We need to reclaim our stolen property. Tonight, when you stand up for Maghrib or Isha, make a conscious intention to lock your eyes. Tell yourself, I will not look away from this spot, even if the walls of the house collapse down. Visualize the fox waiting for you to slip and deny him the satisfaction of the theft. Keep your reward full and your record complete, and force Shaitan to leave empty-handed. The prayer is the first thing we're asked about. If it is sound, then all other deeds are sound. But if it is defective, then all other deeds fail. Do not let a stolen prayer be your downfall. Guard it with your life and your eyes, for it is your key to the gates of paradise and the only meeting you have with your Lord before the final meeting on the Day of Judgment. We ask Allah to grant us khushu in Salah. We ask Him to protect us from the theft of Shaitan. We ask Him to make our eyes weep from His fear and not wander in distraction and heedlessness. May Allah accept our prayers and make them perfect, and forgive us for the moments we turned away, and turn His face towards us with mercy and love on the day when eyes will stare in horror.